Hey YouTube, I thought I'd do a 6-month review of my DIY ammo can fire pit that I made. If you didn't catch the last video, I talked about kind of the effort it took me to make this and whether or not it worked with a 1 pound propane tank, like a Coleman one. But so overall, the last 6 months, I've ended up using this thing so much. I'll say in the pro side, it is so compact, so easy to travel with. I have this in my little 5-pound Ignite gas growler that I bought this cheap bag at Goodwill to kind of tote it around in like a messenger bag. And what I found is by having this little compact system, I end up using it like all the time. So a couple quick examples. One, I took a family trip. We rented a house on a little island out in Washington State. Took it along in the car, was not an issue to pack it. Ended up using it a couple nights on the beach to have just a little quick and dirty fire without having to fuss with firewood or anything. I've taken it to beaches where you're not allowed to have fires on the beach, and as far as I'm concerned, this is legal, so I fire it up, and look at that, we're the cool family having a fire and toasting marshmallows on the beach. Another cool thing, like I literally just put this in my car if I think there's even a slight chance that I'm gonna be able to get use out of it. So I played frisbee golf with some buddies a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday. We were trying to meet at 8 o'clock in the morning to kind of beat the rush, and I got there a little early. I said, well, why don't I just throw this thing up, get a little fire going within a minute. I was drinking coffee around it when my friend showed up, so that was pretty cool. As far as the efficiency of it, it's hyper efficient. I don't worry about running out of gas if I'm just using it. You can get probably at least 3 kind of solid nights of fire out of it. So good example, I took it on a family RV trip a couple weeks ago. We rented an RV, went to a state park close by, and my wife's not a big fan of like wood fire. Plus with kids and stuff, like by the time you set it up, get it going, it's like time for bedtime. You don't tend to it and stuff. So having the ability to just like on the fly, turn it on, turn it off is great. We ended up burning this thing. We were there 2 nights. Both nights we ran it for 2 or 3 hours. We ran it for about an hour in the morning as we were doing breakfast and trying to warm up around it. And with a 5-pound gas growler, it was just enough gas to get us through that, and a little bit to spare. When I'm at home, so like tonight, I'm just burning it on the patio. I hooked up to my big boy, and no issue. As far as like the size of the flame that I put out, I like to run it about like this. It can go quite a bit higher. Like that's like too hot. It's putting out a lot of heat. It's probably ripping through gas. You can run it smaller if you're trying to like ration the gas, but realistically, that's kind of the sweet spot. That's where every time I turn it on, it kind of goes to. That's enough that if you're sitting within, I don't know, let's say I'm within 3 to 4 feet, I'm feeling nice and warm. It's like a 50-degree night. I'm just wearing a t-shirt and I feel good. Much lower than that, and you're just getting kind of the aesthetic. But anyway, it's awesome. So a couple changes I've made. One, I got some better lava rock. I went into a fireplace equipment store in town, and they sold me a bag of like really big real lava rocks, and I filled it up to the top basically. And what that does is it actually radiates a little bit more heat, so like you can run it real high and then turn it down low and put your hands over it. I just feel like it's retaining more of the heat than kind of the cheapo ones that I had. And then you probably can't see it, but I have what are called glowing embers that I also got at the fireplace place. And what that does, it's for gas logs. You put them around, and it kind of simulates hot burning coals. You honestly probably can't see it. You zoom in, yeah, there you can see one of the burning embers, but it doesn't add a ton of value. I just wanted to test them out. I just got them a couple days ago, just to see what it looks like. They're like $4. I'm not worried. I'm probably just gonna take them out and not worry about it. But overall, it's great. Like I've got several fire options. I have a solo stove bonfire that I built a heat reflector for. Maybe I'll make a video about that. But I have that thing. I have a Costco big like 18-inch diameter circular propane gas tank. I actually had that before I got this for again, to beat burn bans. And I end up gravitating towards this thing. It's just easy to pick up, open up, get it going within an hour. The one kind of negative I'll say about it, the way that I set it up, so you have to kind of make a decision. Like, do you want the flame to be burn efficiently, which means you let a lot of oxygen into it, or do you want it to just like look nice? So if you let more oxygen in, you do that via drilling more holes. Probably can't see it there, but like the burner that's in there is set up for like a turkey fryer, and when you have that, there's like an aperture that you can adjust to like adjust the amount of oxygen that's mixing with the gas to create a more or less efficient flame. I have this thing set up to have like a nice orange burn, but I think realistically it would burn more efficiently, but more blue or kind of clear colored if I let more oxygen in. But what that means is when it's burning like this, one, I don't think it's putting out as much heat as it would if it were burning cleaner, and two, the amount of soot that it generates is just like outrageous. So like I have to be really careful when I'm putting the lid on and off. If you scrape a knuckle in there, your hand will just like turn black from the amount of soot that's in there. Or like handling the lava rocks, they end up getting like a nice little coat on them. Honestly, not a big issue. I doubt I'll ever clean it out. I'll just like know that I don't want to touch the inside of it, or it's easy enough to just wipe it off with like a paper towel or something. But other than that, like super excited about it. Still maintain that it was a lot of effort to build. I probably would have extracted equal value had I bought a purpose-built lava box, but that's neither here nor there. The paint's held up really well. I probably burnt 20 hours in this thing. No chipping, no flaking, no real discoloration. And the regulator and the hose and adapter and everything's working out great. So 6 months in, really stoked I have it. We're about to enter burn ban season here in the state of Washington, so it'll start getting a lot of use, and I'm just stoked to have it. And I've got buddies that want to borrow it or want to build their own, so I think it's a worthwhile investment to either buy something purpose-built or build your own. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.